Hello, this is Gavin Young.
Hi, my name is Jack Myers.
Hey, I'm Greg Carr II. We are
One.
Mike.
Trio.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back to episode 17 of the One Mike Trio podcast. Greg, interesting fact.
All right. Most people know dolphins have incredible sonar abilities, but did you know that they were studied as war tools during the Cold War? They really are as smart as people say they are.
Alright, a little bit
Imagine a dolphin being used during war. Are you kidding me?
Be very interesting.
Aquaman uses them. So
Shut your face about Aquaman. What's today's topic?
Anyways, guys, this is more of a serious, I guess, kind of topic that we're doing, and I'm going to hand it over to Gavin now.
today's topic is mental health. We're gonna discuss some of our struggles. Briefly, some of us will talk a little bit more about that, and then we're also gonna do a little bit how it affects us in theater, our performance anxiety, what that is, how we deal with it,
Yeah.
and yeah. So all three of us are actors.
Yes.
Have we all had performance anxiety before?
Oh, big time. You kidding me? Big time.
It always happens. Once I get on stage, though, I'm pretty good after the first couple seconds.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be afraid of being on stage, but I'm really, since I've been on so much now, I'm a little bit less stressed, but I'm still stressed to get on for the first couple seconds. Because it's before you get on stressful, but once you get on stage, it's not really that
You're
stressful.
just doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, that's me.
Yeah.
Okay. The Google's dictionary's definition of performance anxiety is nervousness experienced before or during participation in activity taking place in front of an audience.
There it is.
Yes. I was reading another one, and that one was about
Oh! Oh!
and I was like, that's not the one I was trying to find. But yes. So I've also had to deal with a lot of performance anxiety from a young age all the way through now. I started theater when I was 10. It kind of just evolved from there. Now I don't really have it. I get really, really nervous before a show though. But every time I get on stage, it's fine. Unless it's the first time we're doing a show, then I'll kind of be freaking out. But by the second one, yeah. But yeah, I think it's mostly fun. And usually I get out of my performance anxiety within Tech Week. So, yeah.
Okay.
What do we do with our performance anxiety? How do we calm ourselves down?
I think right before a show happens, sometimes I'll get fast food and eat it.
Yeah.
I try to just calm my nerves talking to people, seeing how everyone is. And sometimes I think there was one time where I tried to be the leader, being let's go, come on, let's get it, guys. I think I only did that once though, but I didn't really do the most. But I tried to get everyone to get going and feel good about what's happening.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I have, or I should say, one trick that I've picked up for performance anxiety, is that everybody wants you to do great on stage. Don't get me wrong. Nobody wants to see anybody else fail.
I mean,
Gavin, we're trying to be positive today. But yeah, nobody wants to see anybody else fail. And so one thing that I've
Fair.
ingrained into my pre-show ritual is that I go around to everybody that I'm doing the show with and say, have a good show.
Yeah.
Or break a leg or something.
I was
within
gonna say
bounds.
you use the curse words there.
Calm down.
Mm-mm.
Anyway, yes, I've incorporated that into my ritual because if people see that I'm somewhat calm and they're nervous, I feel if I help them through their anxiety, it's kind of helping me in a way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think
that makes sense.
I think during the last show I was in, because I was LeFou, I had, I was a side character. I feel it's very much less stressful to be a side character than a lead. Because I've done so many leads and I felt less stressful. But for LeFou, I know I had guests on there.
So humble.
Well, I'm just saying.
I've done so many leads.
Well, I had most of the shows I've done, I've been pretty much a lead or a side character. But there's only one time before then I was a side character, but I didn't like my side character. This time I actually had a side character that I liked, and it was really easy because if I messed up or if Gaston messed up, then we could both pick each other up because we literally practiced so much together before then. So it's just having that person there, I feel is just so nice to have.
Yeah, definitely for me, I listen to podcasts while I get ready for the show, and I don't really pay attention to people. I don't really talk to anyone. I kind of seclude myself just so I can get my head in the right mindset. And then when places are called, I'll start talking to everyone, and I'll start getting my energy back up. I'll say break a leg to everyone
Oh my gosh.
that I can see and catch, because some people I can't catch before they go on stage, but most of the times I don't walk out on stage at the beginning, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I try to just keep myself in a positive mindset and a good mindset that everything's gonna be fine, because in 2 hours, the show will be over and you'll know, it'll just be what it is.
Yep.
So I have no problem with
Yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
You get out there, say your line, and then next thing you know, you're taking your curtain call, walking backstage.
Yep, pretty much. That's really just how it
Pretty much,
goes.
That's how it goes.
But I know the stressful thing is once it's finished, you're like, now you gotta do your bows and all that stuff, which is
Yeah.
can be a little bit stressful, especially if you mess up the hands.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, not the hands.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I try to just every time I go on stage too and I'm not fully in character, I always just try to breathe through it, and then at some point a switch will flip.
Yeah.
But yeah, have we ever dealt with any heavier mental health issues, depression, personal anxiety, before?
I feel like okay, and this is something where people have said this to me, and I don't agree with it. People are like, you can't be depressed if you don't have depression. That depression's an emotion. You can have depression. Depression is also a thing that can be diagnosed. Obviously,
Yeah.
You can have either one. It's still a feeling. We have these feelings. Why depression is a thing because it's a feeling, and some people just have a more heightened version of it. But I mean, who hasn't had anxiety, depression, especially for all of us who are now in the college stage? I feel like high school is the biggest time where you'll have probably the most depression / anxiety. Because that's just that's the starting to grow stage and starting to figure out what the world's like and all that and stuff. But even now, as a college student, yes, I have some moments where I'm anxious or I'm stressed. I wouldn't say I've been depressed since I've started college. I've been really sad, but I don't think I've been depressed. I haven't been able to get up. More burnt out, I would say. I feel like you're more burnt out when you're in college than depressed, and you're more depressed when you're in high school and anxious. Because for all of us, I definitely know. At the end of last semester, we were all burnt out. We were just done with the semester. We were burnt out. We didn't feel depressed. We were just literally just we recorded an episode that wasn't aired, but you could tell our just emotions. We were just tired.
Yeah, we were drained. Dude.
So I don't know. That's how I see it. But I would say depressed wise. There's been some times, but I've just gotten through it. I gave myself space from people while also still talking to people. You just gotta really find the way that works best for you if you're dealing with something like depression or even anxiety, and make sure you're around the people you care about and can talk to about it. But yeah, that's just that's how I feel on that.
Yeah, I definitely agree that depression can also be an emotion, but it's also a mental state.
Yeah.
Where people are sadly have dwell into, because the surrounding forces just don't allow them to be not in it.
Yeah. I've seen both. So.
Yes, I've definitely been depressed before. I'm definitely have anxiety. I have family members that have had it, loved ones very close to me. And yeah, it's a very long list of my history, my family history. So
yeah,
I don't know. Mental health is sometimes genetic, so you gotta let it ride its course.
Yep.
Yeah.
And gotta always know that there's always a brighter side.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For sure.
But yeah.
Well, I will say that I personally have not suffered from depression or anxiety, but I have a lot of close friends who have. And so I've kind of always been on the outside looking in and trying to do my best to be there for them.
Yeah.
Because depression and or anxiety looks different for everyone.
Exactly.
And so what I've tried to do is just to be there. If they want to talk, they can talk to me. If they don't want to talk to me but just want me to be there, I'll be there. That's what I've dealt with. And I've also dealt with a lot of more in-depth talks about actually, you know what? We won't get into that.
Yeah.
But trust me, there's a lot more than what's on the surface, and I have been there.
Yeah.
So
And like, how many of us have gone in a car after rehearsal and somebody just had to emotionally dump on you, or you had to emotionally dump on other
Yeah.
people?
In fact, I have a great example. Me personally, we were doing The Tempest to start our year, right? And I was casted as Prospero, and Prospero is like the protagonist. He's the main character, and I was just coming off of my senior capstone, Waiting for Godot, where I played Estragon, who was also a main character / protagonist. And so both of those were like very like wordy roles, and I hate to admit it, I really do, because it's not like me, but I was just very stressed at the time. I was not off book for The Tempest until that Monday of Tech Week. And like that Sunday rehearsal before I was off book like completely, like I literally just got in my car after rehearsal. Like I didn't move, I didn't put the key in the ignition, anything. I just sat there and I cried. I did, because I felt overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But then once I was done, I felt like a lot better. And then I went home, I was like, okay, you're gonna get this done because you are able and you can do it.
There's a beautiful thing my teacher, one of our professors, Andrea, told us about. At the end of the day, you gotta just laugh and cry. You just gotta let the emotions out, because you have chemicals in your brain that are just heightened throughout the entire day, and if you can't let your emotions out, then they stay that heightened for the next day and the next day, and it just keeps building, and then it starts affecting you physically.
Yes.
And you get body problems, especially like stomach problems. I've had many stomach problems due to my anxiety and stuff like that, but I know many friends we have, and including professors that have had many physical problems now because they did not take care of themselves mentally early on, and they let it ride. So like having a good cry, having a good laugh, like
it always helps.
Literally a week ago,
Yeah.
I was in my driveway and I looked up at the sky and it was a full moon, and you could see that where I live, you could see the clouds and the stars breezing by, and I just like started crying, and I was like, I got 6 months left of being here, and it's like, that's it, I got 6 months left.
Yeah.
I was just like, I've lived here for 21 years, and now I'm gonna be moving away. I'm gonna be doing my own thing. I'm not coming back. I will not come back. And if I do, it won't be living in the same house. I won't be living in the same area.
Everything will be different.
I feel like I know it's like something that's like really big to ask, but I feel like schools and colleges more should now have like someone like a certified therapist on campuses, and have someone who people can really talk to, that's like free. I don't know, I'm not gonna go into that stuff, like free or not, I don't care. Just like, it would be nice though, Curly, I know like for most high school kids it would be nice or even like a support group, like a club that is for people who have anxiety and depression, can come to talk to everyone else who does, and come together and help deal with it with one another, because I feel like I said before, there's so many kids in high school have so much anxiety and depression like inside them, but they're not going to show people, which is something that's like we have like hotlines for. But I feel like that would be something that could really benefit schools to have, and maybe make and help students want to do better and want to thrive more, who are struggling, even just like someone they can talk to, just like to get through their struggles about, what I mean? I feel like, or even make it a class, like have like a or like a stress relief kind of class. That would be not.
I think so definitely the therapist thing should happen. Our school has it.
Yeah.
It's maybe not be at where we want it to be, which is what it is. And we also,
I would say it's better than nothing.
It is better than nothing. And in definitely high schools, they should definitely be having them, because that's like, people say our generation's soft, and we're not soft. It's the fact that we care about ourselves. Yeah. We see the effects that older generations have, like, and they didn't care about their mental health. We see the 80s,
Just
the
like,
70s.
I sucked it up and I went to work.
Brush it off. But now do you know how many mental problems that you have and you're pushing on your children?
Yeah.
It's so common to have these familial issues because you can't talk about your emotions to your family, because your family your parents and other people in your family, your aunts and uncles, your grandparents, are closed off to emotion
because they never faced it.
Yes. And we're the generation to face it, to actually care, to be like, hey, I'm not feeling up to this today, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Like,
That
there's
doesn't make me any less of a person.
no, and it
just
doesn't make
makes-
you any weaker. It just,
Yes.
it makes you
just-
stronger.
It makes you stronger.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because you care for yourself.
Exactly.
I mean, it's crazy to me when people are like just brush it off. Oh, you're depressed. Are you really depressed? Like,
It's just something that
it's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's just a very sensitive topic that doesn't need to be sensitive.
No.
Yeah.
It should be
It
unsensitized.
should be normalized.
Yes.
There's just so much behind stuff like that. It's just like to dig deep in that, it's just like a hard thing to do, especially with your loved ones too. But yeah, no, it's just like, hey, see, I feel like we're in the perfect age. We're like the generation that like will get to experience the new age generations and like the old age generations, and we'll be able to like understand both, especially like in any like I feel like people said that we're like the ones that we're gonna be the biggest letdown generation, but I feel like we're the ones that are gonna understand the most though of how like people feel and everything like that. Like I feel like we're at the perfect like age of like the 21st century to be in. My own.
It's just
opinion.
crazy that the older generations and even some of the people our age just think that we're the ones insane because we care how we think and emotionally are and how we see issues in society. Like we're not the ones to back down.
We're maybe more rational. I don't know. That's just
Well, and that's what people would agree and disagree on. That's a
Yeah,
hot
exactly.
topic. People would be like, you're not rational, you're irrational because you think mental health is a thing.
yeah.
You think that something that is in your brain and like doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So
It just depends on where I feel like some people, the younger generation, do understand a lot more because they have more they have more things available to them. I always talk about this. Obviously, younger generations, you would say, will be one day smarter than we were at the point where they're at their age. But I feel like that also helps because I feel like our generation will be able to really help like the kids that we have or like the younger generations learn more of what life was able to be like. Like our like. I know, like, you obviously don't want kids, Gavin, and I don't know where you stand on that, Craig, but, like, I feel like I'll be able to teach my kids one day what it was like.
Craig's like, oh yeah.
I guess I'll be able to tell them what's like.
I was just answering a quick text. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I feel like I'll be able to understand multiple generations and be able to talk to them about, like, to be themselves really in this new age. So
Yeah. No, I fully agree and echo that.
Well, and like, I hope in 10 years the people that are seniors in college are much more smarter than me.
Yeah.
Because that's how
me.
the trajectory should be.
Yeah,
Like I
we
should
should-
not be smarter than
We should be going upward, not
Yes.
downward.
exactly. And like
Whoa, that was crazy.
yeah, well, as we did just
Y'all were just on the same mental wavelength for like 0.5 seconds. and
pretty
it
much.
Really
Sometimes
freaked
it
me out.
happens, you know what I mean?
goodness.
I'm glad I got that on tape too. Unbelievable. But continue.
But yeah, no, and it's just like we wanted to talk about mental health because it's getting into that season of love and like
Oh.
Valentine's Day is next week. It's just it's always been people have seasonal depression, people have
Yes.
seasonal blues is another
Yes.
word that I just think is a cover up, but tis what it is. At least we're talking about it. It's just an interesting day in society that we're in.
Not you bringing up Valentine's Day. It's getting like so close.
Yeah, I couldn't even believe it. I realized how close Valentine's Day was the other day, and I was like, dang. We're doing a topic like this, and it's getting close to Valentine's Day. I find that really hilarious to me.
That is so upsetting.
What's going on over there?
Gavin's a straw.
My
is
water
kind of
bottle straw
It
fell out.
busted.
No, it fell out. It just popped out. Okay, now we're good.
What did you do?
Okay.
What did you
Well, I was like
do?
trying to drink water and it wouldn't work. Sorry.
He didn't have a straw.
But no, and like mental health is very important. We've already discussed this. But yeah, high school sucked.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, it did, for sure. I didn't start really hitting my stride until like my senior year, probably.
Well, I
I
have.
knew I was out the door.
Yeah, and like I have a journey with my friends dealing with mental health. Like I've lost friends to mental health and I've lost friends to natural causes. So it's like one of those things that if I'm not the one to talk about, then who will?
Right.
Because I can tell you a lot of other people won't.
Right.
Yeah.
So, it's just kind of how you have to go about it. You got to think about it. Are you wanting to be the change in the world that you want to see? Or do you want to be the one to let it pass by and when you're 80 be like, well, that is a nice idea. That's a nice idea that those kids did. No,
Yeah.
I want to be that one.
No, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't want to wake up in my bed one day, 80 years old and passing away, and just be like, oh, I didn't get to do it. Guess somebody else will.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Guess nobody else will if you won't.
right.
It's just how I see it. Mental health is a huge proponent in my life. I believe strongly that everyone needs therapy. Everyone, absolutely everyone. 'Cause no matter what, if you don't struggle with mental health, somebody's gonna come along and it's gonna mess with you, and you won't know how to deal with it. And I feel like if you have a therapist, you'll have a grand time. But then there's not enough therapists. That's a different situation and a different discussion for another day. Yeah. I have a lot of friends that are in therapy though.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends. One of my best friends. Her mom's a dietitian, which is always a positive thing.
Definitely.
But yeah, mental health's related in a lot of things. It's
Yeah.
basically everything we do every day.
It
The way
is.
you eat, the way you sleep,
Yes.
how you do your work,
Yes.
how much you procrastinate.
Yeah.
We're all kind of like zoning out because like hard topics like this are like insane to talk about. So we're kind of all like, like you mess with your water bottle, Greg and I are like messing with our phones because it's like so hard to talk about. So
But it shouldn't be though.
Yeah. Well, and it's like it's awkward because we are in the middle of our school right now.
Yeah.
definitely.
And it's just an uncomfortable conversation to be had, but we also want to be an outlet of sharing that stuff. Like we love the first season of this podcast. We love the fact that we stuck with sports and theater.
Yep.
We will be getting back to sports and theater. We've already done sports and theater already this season, but we also want to hold ourselves accountable for the fact that we should be talking about topics that are meaningful and not just the
Yeah.
vague, vain topics of, oh my gosh, that celebrity did what? Leah Michelle who?
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson did haunt today at that game.
Oh my gosh, you remember Justin
Yes.
Jefferson. I am so proud of you.
It's like one of those things that we want to be that podcast that can talk about life stuff. We don't want to be the podcast that's so
Talk more about our
unintuned. Yes. And like,
For sure.
yeah. It's going good though. I think this is a solid podcast that we're gonna continue. Do you guys have anything else to talk about for a little bit more mental health?
No, I'm good.
I was gonna ask the question if we haven't already discussed it, but what has our personal journeys been?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like our personal journeys with like mental health and like dealing with stuff.
I mean, for me, definitely when I was younger, I was a happy kid. Like, there wasn't really much. It wasn't until middle school and high school that I started dealing with my mental health. One of my parents has crippling anxiety. Like, she has a lot of anxiety in her life. I love her to death, and that's just something that she struggles with.
Yeah.
I won't go too much detail into that, but for me, though, it's definitely has put onto me a bunch of anxiety for some stuff. And yeah, I mean, in high school, I kind of struggled with it. I'm not diagnosed, and I'm not diagnosed with depression or anxiety, but I know a lot of people that are. I know the signs of it. I know what's in my family. I know who struggles with it, how they struggle with it, what's the effects of it. Definitely for me, throughout high school, I came out when I was a sophomore in high school as gay,
I
and
did not know that.
yes, and it was a tough time. My mother was had breast cancer for a third time. My dad had skin cancer. I was trying to figure myself out, and then in the middle of it, my friend lost the battle of mental health. So
Yeah.
it was my entire sophomore year was a journey of just decline, absolute, just like a fighter jet, just
Yeah.
and it wasn't fun. It was me and my twin brother. We were the ones in high school at the time. My older brother is 11 years older than us. We didn't have that connection. But we tried. And yeah. And like ever since then I've been on a steady incline and going up because my junior year and my senior year I had a lot of friends help me, and my senior year was probably my best year. And then also over all this time I just stopped caring what other people said and thought, which is another thing good for your mental health, is stop worrying about the outside forces, because that is stupid.
Beyond your control.
People do not matter. Like in the long scheme, they do not matter. They are a blip in your life. In 15 years, will you know them? Probably not. And that is a-okay. So booyah. Half the people I knew in high school, I'm kind of glad I do not see anymore. So tis what it is.
Yeah. I kind of explained mine. High school was just like up and down a lot. I realized, what the world was more like then, how things were. Who was screaming?
Honestly.
That was really
That's
like
like 3 in a row right now.
I don't know if it's screaming though.
I don't know. Maybe it's like a soundtrack. I don't know. But anyways, no. I mean, college is definitely better because I feel like I'm around more people, and have more friends now because, so I'm kind of good right now. I don't really have coping mechanisms. I just kind of live life. That's pretty much it. If you're gonna let your emotions hold you back, then like sometimes they're not holding you back. Sometimes they're really good, but like for certain things, if you're letting it hold you back, and you just gotta try to move forward. That's just my honest opinion.
Yeah. Well, my journey, I mean, I don't have, like I said, I've not been diagnosed with depression or anxiety, but I have dealt with a lot of negativity in my life from such a young age. I'd say probably from like 4th grade all the way up until like my senior year of high school. I was like bullied like a lot for like the way I looked and the way I talked. I didn't have the same interests as everybody else. Like Jack and Gavin, you both know that I'm very passionate about soccer.
Yeah.
But however,
Really?
But however, young men who look like me are passionate about football, and so they would used to like poke and jeer me, like, "Oh, that is a very like soft sport. You're not tough at all. Like, what are you even a man?" Like that type of stuff, right? For enjoying like a game, which made no sense to me, and so going forward, like ever since I've graduated high school, because like I said, I've dealt with all of that, and I won't touch on all of my bully backstory because that'd probably be something for another podcast. But ever since I graduated high school and started college, I've really come into my own and found ways to, just be me instead of like be this thing that everybody describes me as. Like I took up working out when I started college because I'm a college athlete. So I took that up and I found like joy in it. I felt like that was a solid outlet for me and such, and theater, because theater is not only a great profession but a great outlet as well. So that's been my journey. I've dealt with bullies, but I have overcome them.
Yeah.
And if anyone wants to bully me now, go ahead and try. I honestly don't care. You're going to roll off my back like a raindrop on my leather jacket.
Yeah.
That's just me.
That's a good expression.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and like I'm the same way. Like I was bullied throughout all of elementary school into some of high school. That stopped real quick though because my friends are badasses. We're all baddies. But yeah. That bullying is another topic.
Bullying is another topic for another
day.
But yeah, that's what we faced, and let's just say we've come out on the other side looking great.
So much better.
I think with this podcast, we've thrived more since we've started this podcast.
Yeah.
Well, also, let's just end off with this. What are your guys' way of? What are what's like one or two tidbits that you can do to deal with mental health? For me, it would be definitely listen to podcasts and like keep your mind on the prize. Like keep your mind on the goal of 10 years from now. Keep your mind on the thought that what your life could be and make it be.
Yes.
And then also definitely take the time to just be with yourself in silence and like sit there and think.
Yes. I find that so crazy because like I've found myself like wanting to like be in silence a lot lately. And I've been called like, "Oh, you don't want to hang out? You don't want to like go out?" Sometimes I just I'm either working myself too hard or I need to like reset. And I can't, and I just don't have the capacity to be out right now. Like that's what I've discovered.
Yeah.
Yes, continue. So sorry.
No, good. No, you're good. I would say find a motivational video that speaks to you.
Mm.
Because I feel like a lot of people are just like, oh yeah, motivational. I understand the term motivational. Are they really? There are some good ones out there that are very motivational. I will say. I don't have any off the top of my head. Sometimes I just find one of like a person changing their life, like a workout, you know, like their workout progress and all that, and that motivates me. Even if I'm not like where I want to be with that, definitely it helps me just be like, dang, they did this really awesome thing, or like, you know, stuff like that. Motivation and just being by yourself, learning to love being by yourself.
Yes.
Because you really need to balance like learning to love being by yourself and being with people.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because if you can't love being by yourself,
Then how are you gonna love yourself being with other people?
Yeah, and also that's also gonna be like you're gonna become needy because of that, because you're gonna believe you need to rely on people as well.
Yeah.
So that's my personal opinion. But.
Then I guess I'll round it off. My little tidbit, as Gavin said, would not to be to find a motivational video, or what Gavin said, to sit in silence. Like, both of those are great. But I would personally say, because I'm not trying to copy off of either one of them, I would say take a moment to sit down somewhere. It doesn't have to be anywhere specific. It could be like in your car, it could be outside under a tree, like literally anywhere. You sit down, take a moment to go inside of yourself and tell yourself, hey, you can do this. You're amazing. Keep moving forward. There's literally tomorrow. That is my tidbit.
Good job, guys.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. I think that's the end of the podcast right there. We hope you enjoyed our little mental health podcast for the day.
Mad deep.
Leave a comment down below, like, subscribe, watch us on Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, all the places.
Don't forget the TikTok.
Oh, yes, definitely do follow us on TikTok. It's where we're popping off at. But we hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you all later. Bye.
See ya.